We had a wee bit of a disaster there. I'm laughing already. I was talking into the camera for about 5 minutes there, and I accidentally hit. I forgot to hit record. I thought it did record, but sure, it's all a learning curve. So last night we had our big massive show. It was where we were going to run all the cards from Dublin, and I was running myself a wee bit of an experiment. In this experiment, I wanted to see if you could make money going to a show, buying cards, and then trying to flip them on whatnot. As you know yourselves, whatnot can be a wee bit dicey at times. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you lose money. It's all part of the game, and I have to be honest, whatnot has been very good for me. It's allowed me to meet a lot of different people from Northern Ireland who are into the same thing that I am, which is the hobby. It's allowed me to collect really nice Northern Ireland cards, some nice Liverpool cards, and it's also introduced me to a lot of people who normally I wouldn't get the opportunity to meet or talk to. So a big massive shout out to all the guys who have offered me a bit of advice. Um, but back to the story. So I wanted to see how we were going to get on. I listed 150 items. There was some cards that I didn't run just because one, I liked them, so I didn't want to sell them. Two, I didn't have the time, and three, there was cards that was listed last night, but I'd say about the 2 hour mark, I had a wee bit of a family emergency come up. So I needed to end the stream pretty sharpish. We're all good, so don't anyone be worrying. It's all fine. So I had to end it a wee bit early, and I finished with a few cards left over, which I'm going to run in my next show. But I would say, overall, I'd say I spent £1,030 on the cards. That was me trying to buy at around 75 to 80% on comps. What I was using was an app called Card Letter. I highly recommend it. It's subscription based, but it basically shows you all the recent sales, and it sort of just shows you where the card's at. Sometimes comps can be all over the place, depending on whether it's a new set, if it's limited in number, and it just sort of gives you a rough idea of what you need to be sort of buying at. So normally my advice to anyone who's buying at shows or trying to buy online, what I normally do is I write out all the cards that I'm looking at. I count them quickly on Card Ladder. I put them in at their full value, and then I go in the calculator and I times that number by 0.70 or 0.80, and that just shows me the sort of range that I need to be buying at. Obviously, you can pay a higher percentage if you know something is liquid. What do I mean by liquid? Something that's easy to move. So, perfect example of this is kabooms. They're hard to come by, and as soon as you have them, someone wants to buy them. So that would be something that's very liquid, or Manchester United autos. Everyone loves a United auto, especially of legends, current players. Same goes with Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, you name it. They're all the big cards that people like. So like I said, I finished at £1,030. I think I must have bought like, I'd say anywhere between 150 to 200 cards. I spent a lot of time in the value bins. So what I was doing was there were certain people who were running deals, and the deals say were buy 5 cards, get one free, buy 7 cards, get free. I don't know, but just sort of like that, where you could sort of roughly work out what you were paying. So we go through all the ones at a pound, and I'd pick out all the numbers that I could, just looking through. Or if I seen Inception, which is a really quality set, even base moves for a bit of money, and trying to pick up those cards. What I was also doing was I was looking at Manchester United autos. So I think I picked up a Van der Sar goalkeeper. Picked that up for around £12-13. And then what I was also looking for was Liverpool autos. So I picked up lots of Liverpool. I then picked up a nice Bruno Fernandes on the Prism. So I think I ended up picking Bruno up for around £15-16. I think maybe that was in euros, so it probably worked out about £13-14. Last night on the stream he sold for 25. Now, not all the cards were success stories. Some of the cards I did lose money on, but that's just part and parcel of whatnot. So the amount of money that I ended up finishing on last night was £1,200. In that money, what you have to remember is that whatnot does take a fee out of that. So I think the fee ended up being about £150, which, to be honest, I think is quite steep. But then I suppose if you look at it from a business perspective, whatnot is bringing people into your stream with the algorithm and stuff. So it does make sense, like, because when are you ever going to get 50 to 60 people watching you sell something? So I would say that if you're in the Whatnot game, it does take a while to build up a bit of an audience. Not that I am a big streamer by any stretch of the imagination. But I remember when I first started, I was hemorrhaging money more than I am now. What they mean is like I was maybe starting a stream and I would have had 2 or 3 people in it, 4 people in it, 5 people in it, and I was banging out inserts just to sort of get a hang of it. But from banging out those inserts, I became more familiar with what does well. So I suppose there is positives to it. Or like you list autos, and you maybe think you have an auto that's worth £10. You paid 7, it goes for 5, and that's just part and parcel of not having as many viewers in the stream. So it's definitely worthwhile trying to build your numbers up. So last night I was also running giveaways. Giveaways is a great way to keep numbers high. I think with Whatnot, numbers attract numbers. You know, if you have 20, you're more likely going to get another person to join because they can see that the stream's a wee bit active. So I'd really recommend running giveaways. So I think I ran about 18 giveaways last night for inserts and free shipping. So that was costing me about $2.70 a go, which is just to pay for the large letter. So I think last night we were negative £30. But like I said, I had a family emergency, so there were some cards that I didn't get running. And I'll run you through some of them and we can talk about it. So we had this lovely Jal, the big man that used to play for Fulham, number to 49 on the auto. I would say anywhere between 7 to 10, I don't know. It's a cheap auto. Big Darwin Núñez. I went off last night and watched the Liverpool match. Oh, I am a Liverpool fan. He'd break your heart, that man. He honestly would. He'd break your heart. As soon as he stepped up for that penalty, I was like, I know this is missing. And then Donnarumma, he just fills the net so well. What a big guy. Then we had a Mo Salah, PSA 9, and again, another cheap slab. To be fair, with cheaper slabs, what I would always say is slabs, in my opinion, if it's a good, well-known player, they should be going for grading, even if it is base. You sort of want to be between that £14 and £18 mark. I'm saying £18 because of grading. The way I look at it is when I send to the sub-centre, I think sub-centre's maybe about £17-18 to grade with diamonds. But then on top of that, you have your shipping fee. So obviously, the more you ship, the more you insure it for, the higher that value is going to go into. There we go. There was another Darwin Núñez card that should have been running last night. Again, say just another cheap auto, £10. We had this Ince on the Revolution, which I think is an absolute class card. Can't get the camera to focus on it, unfortunately. Let me see if this works any better. There we go, right in center screen. Maybe that's how we do it. We had an Ince there on the Revolution, £20 card. So just as you can see, if I'm being optimistic here, I would say just on those 5 cards, we've made our money back. So I would say whatever else here is profit. We had a Jota. Again, I would like to say that this would go for £20. Number to 49. So there we go. We had, I don't even know why I'm showing you this. This is just a cheap number. The 199. That's going in next week's show. We had 2 lovely Luis Garcia cards. Love Luis Garcia. Again, you'd be hoping for about £20 a piece on both of them. We had this Renia on the Inception. So I'm a bit cautious on Inception at the minute. I love Inception. I think they're quality looking cards. But what I would also say is on the Inception, if they're not big players, people just don't want them as much. I'm sure that's the same as any set, to be honest. You know, you could be picking up low numbered cards, but it's having those people in the stream. Like, in order for Renia to do well, you probably need 2 people who are collecting for Dortmund. But again, it was a nice pickup. It was a cheap pickup. This one here, this was one of the cards I bought as a bit of a PC piece down in Dublin. It was Kyle Lafferty, number to 199. You can say this man has more clubs than Tiger Woods. Fun fact for you all, played with the ball in it, like. Big Kyle. So we had that card last night and we picked this up. I either picked this up as a patch auto or I got it off Michael, the NI collector, but I had one of them anyway. I picked one of them up in Dublin. But this was just a nice card that I picked up. This here was probably my favourite card that I picked up. Stephen Davis, number to 49. I probably paid a wee bit strong on this, just because I love Stephen Davis. We had more numbered cards. We had a Duran numbered to 299. Again, not the most exciting thing, but when you're looking at it, all the small £1 do add up eventually. I picked this up. I just thought this was lovely. Pedro Neto on the mosaic. It's a sick card. Really, really sick card on the auto. Again, another one for the PC. It was a Gareth McCauley on the auto. Then we had a Jacob Ramsey, number 25 on the Purple Flood. This here, when I bought it, I didn't realise. I was just trying to buy so many slabs, to be honest. But as you can see, the slab is a wee bit, it's a wee bit funky on it, which is it's a big shame, to be honest, because it's a 10, gem 10. But the label sort of lets that one down. And then last but not least is Jordan Pickford here. Sorry, I'm trying to get this camera to focus. Jordan Pickford. So what did I say? I said it was £30 down, and I'm going to be very, very critical here. And I'm going to say the bare minimum that I think I should get from the remaining cards this, we'll say Pickford at a £5. Iniesta, we'll say another £5, right? So there's 10. Ramsey, £5, 15. Macaulay, not counting him because he's not being sold. Pedro Neto, say another £5, there's 20. Stephen Davis, not being sold. Kyle Lafferty is being sold just because I have two of them. I don't know, another £5, say. Rania, £5. These here, I'm going to say 20 quid a piece. Jota, £20. Ince, £20. Big Darwin, I'll give him 10. But Darwin, he's breaking my heart at the minute. Big D, was he? We'll say Salah, critical, £10. And then this patch from Immaculate, number to 49, we'll say another tenner. And this here at 5. So what's that? Very, very quickly, I would say 15, 25, 35, 55, 75, 95. There's 100, 120, 125, 130, 135, 140. Say, I don't know, we'll just give that a £5 or just say 145. Then these two here, obviously they're not being sold. So you're really saying from Dublin and that small experiment that I ran, I would say I'm up £100. Now what I didn't show you is this. This here is all numbered cards. There's 75 of them. I'm pretty sure I bought the vast majority of these in Dublin. I'm going to say £1 a number, which is not unrealistic, to be honest, considering whatnot. Everything sells and whatnot. So I'd say that's what, another 75 quid, just round it down, say 200. So I would say that Dublin trip made £200. If I look at that in terms of what I was actually buying, I have done extremely well. Because what I would look at is, I'd say I spent £1,000 down in Dublin. Say 20% of that, you're talking £200. So there's 1,200 that have made back, and then that's not including the fees that came off that, which was basically another £200. So in Dublin, in total, I would say 1,400. So I would say Dublin was a great success. But other than money, what I think the positives was, everyone was so friendly. There was a lot of people that were very, very kind, that they were nice to talk to. They offered advice. I'm starting this whatnot journey, and I was trying to grow my channel and stuff. And the amount of people who I was able just to go down to in Dublin and say, well, you've got a big channel, what are you doing? And get a wee bit of advice that way, or be able to talk to people and them say, well, this is what camera I use, this is what mic I use. And you're just picking up tips and tricks from people. And I think that's one of the best things about having a community that you can talk to, and a community you can get advice from. So recently, me and a lot of the guys from Northern Ireland, we've been talking to each other in groups. We've been giving each other advice. Now listen, we could be talking the biggest load of crap in those groups, but even still, it's nice just to be talking to people who you share the same interests with, and they're showing you what they're picking up, what they're into, and having that conversation. I think that's a massive positive about going to card shows in person. Yes, it's nice to make money, but it's better to make friends. And I would say that's something that Whatnot's definitely offering at the minute for me, is I'm having a lot more conversations with people in groups. We're talking a lot more, and I think that's just a massive positive. And I think I'm going to start trying to be a wee bit more transparent on Whatnot, showing you what I'm doing, showing you my thought process and my pickups, maybe going through some of the deals that I've made with the other person's permission, of course. And to be honest, I always try and be very fair in deals, but I think when you're dealing with people and you're dealing with money, this is the hard thing about comps. If let's pick a card here, for example. I don't know. I'm trying to pick a card with a decent bit of value. Let me see. I'm going to show you a bigger card maybe. Let me pull out a card. I don't really need to do this way, but we'll say. Let's see. Right. So I bought this card, right? I traded for Alex McAllister. You can see that I've got a price tag of 300. Right? Now this is probably way over comps, and I'm aware of that. It's a PC piece. I don't really want anyone buying it. That's why I've priced it so highly, to be honest. But so it's a Braden rookie. If I went and looked at the last comp, I think the last comp was around 130, 140 pound. The comp before that was maybe 2-3 years ago, and it was over 200 pound. Now, this is my card, and I'm selling. What comp do you think I'm more than likely going to go with? I'm probably going to go with the one that's the higher value. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's my card. I can sell it for whatever I want. But when you're trying to buy people's collections, that's something that you've got to remember. When they're valuing cards, they're going to be picking the comps that suit them, right? And I'm also going to be picking the comps that suit me, because I have to be a wee bit skeptical. It's all around about. It's a conversation. So you can't expect to get everything at 80% of the last comps. You have to be able to work with people. And you know what? See, sometimes you're not going to be able to make a deal. And that's okay. There's never any bad blood when you can't agree a price. You just move on to the next one. And I think that's important to remember. You know, you can say, oh, this guy's overpriced that, or this is overpriced. It's overpriced to you. It's not overpriced to them. And I think that's important to remember. And that's something that, you know, it's not a gospel truth. You know, Card Ladder and all those different apps, they give you so many different sales. And when you're looking at so many different sales and you're seeing so many different comps, it sort of gives you an idea of what something's worth. I think Darwin Núñez is a perfect example. You know, that Darwin Núñez I've got, last comp on that could be 11, 12 pound. The comp before that could be 20. You know, it all just depends. But I think that's why it's good to have conversations. But don't be disheartened. See if you can't be making deals on Facebook, just move on to the next one. There's no bad blood in it. Just keep moving on, keep grinding out, try and pick stuff up at around 70 to 80% of comps, and then try and move it. There's good fun in it. But boys, that's me done. And I'll see you all next time.